We are going to discuss The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, a fable about following your dreams. The story revolves around a shepherd boy, Santiago, from Spain. It begins with him arriving at an abandoned church as the dusk was falling with his herd of sheep, and he decided to spend the night there. Though his parents wanted him to become a priest, but he wanted to explore the world and travel around the globe. His father told him that the ones who travel among us are the shepherds. So he ended up being a shepherd. Whenever possible, he sought a new road to travel. He had a recurring dream, a dream that he had twice in the same abandoned church. He thought that the possibility of a dream coming true do make the life interesting. So he decided to meet an old woman who interpreted dreams. Santiago told her that he had a recurrent dream that there's a treasure hidden inside the Egyptian pyramids. The old woman agreed upon interpreting the dream, but in exchange demanded for 1/10 of that treasure. She asked him to follow his dream by going to those Egyptian pyramids and find the treasure. But losing all his hopes that it would not work, Santiago dropped the idea of following his dream and continued his usual life of a shepherd. He went on towards the merchant city where his sheep were about to be sheared. There he met an old man who was a king. The king tried to convince him to follow his dream of finding the treasure and to give him 1/10 of his flock, in exchange to which he would tell him how to reach to the treasure and asked him to meet the next day. The boy was stuck between his desire of following the dreams and the flock of sheep. But finally he decided to follow his dream and next day appeared with his sheep in front of the king. He left for Africa through ship. There in a bar he met a young boy who spoke Spanish, and believing on him Santiago gave him all his money so that he could buy him the camels to cross the Sahara Desert, which was needed to reach the pyramids in Egypt. But that young boy eloped, taking all the money from Santiago. Santiago worked in the shop of a crystal merchant in order to gather money to buy sheep, because now it seemed impossible for him to reach the pyramids as they required a large sum of money. The business of crystal shop was increasing with each passing day because now the shop was getting more attention of the customers. After 11 months of his service, he gathered enough money to be back in Spain with his doubled flock. But then he realized that he can get to Spain and be a shepherd anytime as it was before. But this time he must follow his dream for which he has worked really very hard. He joined a caravan to go to the Sahara Desert via Alfoyam. He was accompanied by an Englishman on his way, where the Englishman told him that there lived a 200 years old alchemist who can turn the lead into gold. And he told him everything about what alchemy actually is. The Karwa reached the oasis peacefully, but they had to wait in the oasis till the tribal wars ended. There, in the oasis, he met a desert woman named Fatima, with whom he instantly fell in love with. Santiago told Fatima that he is in love with her. She convinced him to wait for the tribal wars to end and do follow his dream and reach his goal. And till the time, she would wait for him. The boy had a vision that an army with swords were riding into the oasis. He told this vision to the tribal chiefs. They told him that they would definitely look out for their enemies the next day, and he would receive a piece of gold for every 10 dead enemies. But if such an event did not happen, they will kill him. On his way back to the tent, he met the alchemist, who told him that not to be distracted from his goal as the challenge is on every step. The war took place and boy was rewarded with 50 pieces of gold and given the chance to be the counselor of Oasis. On their next meeting, the alchemist asked him to sell his camel and buy a horse for further traveling. The alchemist was there to direct him towards his treasure. They started their journey towards the pyramids, but on their way, they got surrounded by hundreds of horsemen and were taken to the military camp. They were going to be spared only when the boy would turn himself into the wind. The boy had no clue what to do, but with the help of the wind, the desert, and the sun, he accomplished the task. Finally, Santiago reached the pyramids of Egypt and began to dig. While digging, he saw some people around him. They stole the gold he was having. He told them about his dream, and one of those people told him that he also had a recurrent dream 2 years ago that a treasure was hidden in an abundant church in Spain where shepherds and their sheep slept. Santiago smiled because now he knew that his treasure was there from where his journey had begun. So, we conclude this on the note that dreams are meant to be followed, and the universe definitely helps everyone who wants to realize their dream. But we must firstly be deserving and worthy of it. Dream big and achieve the big.